Hi everyone, my name is Pärtel. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Bondora. Welcome to the 2021 Bondora Financial Results Live Q&A. Today, first, I'm going to discuss our financial performance of the last year. Thereafter, we're going to go through what has happened since our last live Q&A session. And finally, we're going to discuss what we're going to do throughout the rest of this year. After the intro, we're also going to answer the questions that you've all posted on Slido. There was a lot of them, so I'm maybe not going to get through all of them, but I'm going to try my best. However, I'm going to start with the most upvoted questions. I'm also going to answer the questions that you have during the live session. So, regardless if you're using Facebook or YouTube to watch us right now, then go to the live chat and ask your questions, and I'm going to try to answer them as well. But first, let's go through our financial results. 2021, we reached 5 milestones. 1, it was our 5th year of profitability. 2, our revenue grew to 30 million euros. 3, we reached a net profit of 6.7 million euros. 4, we had originations of 141 million euros. And 5, most importantly, we had 185,000 active customers at the end of the year. Looking forward, we continue to have high ambitions. The next big milestone is reaching 1 million active customers within a very short timeline. Obviously, it's a massive goal, and in order to achieve this, we need to look at new products as well as new countries. However, I'm confident that we're able to achieve this. This is all thanks to our customers, you, for the trust that you've given us over those many, many years in business. We're super grateful for that, and I really thank you. Next, let's look at what's happened since our last Q&A, which happened early March. First, we've doubled the number of people at Bondora since the beginning of 2021. So in a very short timeline, the number of people here have doubled. Second, we launched a tiered version of Go&Grow called Unlimited that provides a net return of up to 4% per annum with no limits on how much you can invest per month or overall. This increases the risk buffers within Go&Grow, and as a result, increases the security of the entire portfolio. It also supports the many customers who reached out to us who wanted to invest more than the monthly limit allows. Given the ambitious long-term goals we have, we want to continue growing at the same pace and remaining sustainably. And in order to achieve this, we now have teams in place to work on the many long-term projects needed to achieve our plans. You'll be hearing a lot more about them as those projects get closer to launch. But now let's look at more what's going to happen this year. We built a significant cash position over the 5 years of profitability. Thanks to that, we're now able to make significant investments for the future. I'm most excited about these 3 major things that are going to happen throughout this year. First, we're expanding into a number of new countries. Second, we're launching multiple new credit products. For example, a refinancing product that will help customers lower their monthly payments. And third, we're making changes to the Go&Grow app to assist you with all of your financial needs, not only investing. We have a team of amazing people working on problems that nobody in tech or finance has been able to solve. And my promise to you is that we're going to continue to push these boundaries and deliver the best experience you can always rely on. With that message, I'm happy to go now and look at the questions you've shared over the past week and start going through one by one. I'll start with the most upvoted questions, but please, if you have any questions that you didn't feel that anyone else answered, or you have a follow-up question, then go to Facebook, go to YouTube, share your question, and I'm going to be happy to take those in as well. All right, so let's go. I'll now take my computer and go to Slido. And I'll start going through one by one, so I need to sort of look down a bit more. So the first question that I have is from Anonymous. Hello. And he's asking, why is there a deposit limit of 400 euro on the normal Go&Grow for the reason to maintain the portfolio, and on the same time now you have launched Go&Grow Unlimited? The main feature request that we've been getting for the past 2 years from our investors has been getting the ability to invest more than our monthly limit. The Go&Grow monthly limit is 400 euros per month, which makes up 4,800 euros per year. That limit is enough for most of the investors. However, there are still many investors who want to invest more than that amount. In the last Q&A session, I mentioned that we're working on a product to address that problem. This is why we've now launched the Unlimited tier to Go&Grow. It offers a net return of up to 4% per annum with no limits on how much you can invest per month or overall. The different yield of the Unlimited tier allow us to increase the risk buffers within Go&Grow, whilst also being able to serve those customers who want to invest more than 400 euros per month. So the next question is also from Anonymous, and the question is, will it be possible to transfer money from the Go&Grow Unlimited account directly to the normal Go&Grow account without having to pay transaction fees? First, within a few weeks, we'll make it possible to easily invest money in the wallet through the Unlimited tier. We're going to continue streamlining the product a lot over the next coming months, so everything together works seamlessly. It should be one click to invest, one click to withdraw, and nothing else. The next question is from Axel, and Axel is asking me, will it be possible again in the near future to invest a larger one-time payment, for example 10,000 euros, in Go&Grow? So larger one-time investments are now possible thanks to the Go&Grow Unlimited tier. But keep in mind that in case you make a substantial payment, then it may take a few days for us to process it and for it to show on your account. We need to go through a number of anti-money laundering and know your customer checks that are subjected to regulated financial institutions, and it takes a bit of time. We also may reach out to you and ask additional documentations that are required by law. The next question is also from Anonymous, and it is, will Go&Grow and Go&Grow Unlimited have the same underlying loan portfolio or separate ones? Unlimited is a new tier of Go&Grow, not a separate product. So the portfolio is the same and it benefits from the same diversification. We will continue to streamline the user experience to make everything work seamlessly and to avoid this confusion. The next question is also from Anonymous. Will there be an increase of the return rate of Go&Grow Unlimited in the future? The yield of 4% is subject to increases or decreases in the future based on how much money gets invested in Go&Grow and how much credit demand there is with appropriate credit risk. So it can go up or down subject to a 1 month's notice. The next question is from Rethink B2B, and the question is, what is the general idea of Go&Grow Unlimited in the long term? How is it going to be used for the future ambitions of Bondora? The unlimited tier allows us to increase the risk buffers of Go&Grow whilst being able to serve the customers who want to invest more than the monthly limit. In turn, that reduces the overall risks and makes it possible to look for investment opportunities in secured products as well as in new countries. I'll take the next question from Frank. Hi, Frank. What is the status of Bondora's expansion? When will another country be added? Frank, we recently created an expansion unit to launch new countries faster. We're now working on a number of new markets, and the plan for this quarter, by end of June, is to file credit provider license applications in licenses in all of them. As a sneak peek, all of those countries are within the Eurozone or their currencies are pegged to Euro. I hope that answers your question, Frank. So let's take another one. So I'll take the next question from Anna. Hello, Anna. And the question is in German. You know, my German is not that great, so I'm not going to read it out. I'm going to translate it and you know, hopefully the answer works out. If you have any follow-up questions on my question, Anna, please reach out on live chat if I translated it a bit wrong. But basically, Anna is asking, you know, why does the Go&Grow Unlimited have a 4% yield if it's possible to invest up to 12% in some other places? Anna, the up to 6.75% offered by Go&Grow and the 4% offered by the Unlimited tier are highly competitive on the market, given the great liquidity and the simplicity of the product. If you look at traditional assets around us right now on the market, then, you know, since the beginning of the year, the European and US stock markets are down by 10 to 15%, in some cases even up to 30%. Bitcoin, that I know some of our investors love, is down by 35%. And the banks in Europe are offering close to 0% returns on savings accounts that lock your money up for the long term. So we think that the yield offer by Go&Grow is highly competitive. The next question is from Tim that I'm going to take. Same thing with Anna. I'm going to translate it in my mind on the go, but if I have a mistake there or didn't capture the entire question, Tim, then please follow up on YouTube and Facebook. So basically, Tim is asking a similar question than Anna, and if and when and would we see in the future that because of the results of Go&Grow so far, that the net return is able to rise to 8 or 9%. So first, we're constantly monitoring the market to make sure that the return is competitive. And we're looking at other products that are also stable, liquid, and simple. And obviously, if the market changes, we will act. Right now, we believe our product is highly competitive on the market. Also, from a second perspective, the higher the risk buffer within Go&Grow, the more secure, the more safer the product becomes. And as a result, that's why we don't want to increase the net return much higher than what we think is necessary to remain competitive. So I hope that works out for you, Tim. As a response, if I missed anything, please shoot me a message in the live chat on Facebook or YouTube. Let me see. So I'll take a few more from Slido, and then I'll start taking from Facebook and YouTube. But right now I'm going to take the question from Axel. And Axel is asking, how will Bondora evolve in 2022? What is the exact strategic orientation? It's a very good question, Axel, and I think we haven't really discussed the strategy on these live Q&A sessions or in our earlier posts. So we're here to help people save money easier, spend money smarter, and grow their money faster. And for that, we're working on a number of new products that will be released this year, bit by bit, until they converge into a single platform in the next year. Our objective on the product side that we're working towards is to become a person's trusted go-to place for advice and financial solutions that are provided at the right time at the right place. So, as said before, there's a number of teams in place right now working on those long-term growth objectives, and you'll be hearing more about them as they come to the market. But already this year, there's 3 major things that are happening. Let me take the next question from Clemens. Hello, Clemens. He's asking, could you please elaborate on the underlying health in the Go&Grow credit portfolio? Outflows versus inflows and the extent of the reserves within Go&Grow. The health of the Go&Grow portfolio has been strong and stable. We've seen no major changes since the beginning of the year, regardless of what's happening in the world. Since early 2020, I want to remind that we've made substantial changes to the lending criteria to make sure that the returns on the loans that are originated are stable and predictable. And so far, we've seen no changes in that framework. Let me see. So, what question I will grab next? I'll take the question from Anonymous. Hi, Anonymous. And the question is, you said the €400 limit is basically because of there is too much money. This contradicts with the Go&Grow Unlimited, don't you think? What is the honest, real reason, please? It's a very good question, Anonymous, and obviously I don't think it contradicts to what I've said before. We released Go&Grow Unlimited tier based on the requests that have been coming a lot from all of the people in the live chats to our support, etc., looking for a way to invest more than the monthly limit to Go&Grow. And we've solved that problem by creating a new tier that instead of 6.75%, you can earn a competitive return of up to 4% per annum with no limits on the monthly investments or your total investment. The difference in yield between the 2 tiers increases the risk buffer within Go&Grow, and as a result, strengthens the overall portfolio. So I think that for now it was 2 years, I think. We've gotten those questions and we kind of passed it over, and I think 6 months ago, something like that, we started figuring out, okay, how do we solve those 2 problems? Like, how do we keep the risk properly managed, and how do we actually solve the customer demand? And Go&Grow Unlimited tier is our solution. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be monitoring the market as well as the portfolio, how much money gets invested through Go&Grow in total, how much credit demand there is at acceptable credit risk, and the 4% yield is, as communicated as well, can change. It changes with it comes with a pre-notice of at least 1 month, but it can change in the future, either up or down, depending on the market situation within the overall investment context as well as within the sort of supply and demand within Bondora. I'll take now the last question from Slido, and then I'm going to move on to Facebook and then YouTube. I'll take another question where I'll try to sort of practice my German a bit. So I'll take a question from Oswald. Hi, Oswald. And basically, Oswald is asking, how the situation, the war in Ukraine has impacted Bondora and what we're doing about it. So far, we've seen no war-related impacts on our portfolio so far. We have no direct exposure to Ukraine, to Russia, or Belarus, and we don't do any business there. The overall economic impact is also limited, as the exports to Russia make up only a small proportion of the total exports of our credit markets. the main impact to our business or the credit portfolios is in the countries where we operate, the same as all across Europe. So there is temporary increases in energy prices and other commodities that are coming from this region. And until the companies and the countries are able to change their supply chains. So we don't expect any major changes in the portfolio related to the crisis, but we continually monitor sort of loan performance, and we're able to act very fast if we see that any industries or any sort of specific demographics are impacted by this crisis. I'll now go to the live chats. I'll take a few questions there. I'll come back to Slido as well later on if we still have time. So I'll still try to do a few more because there was a number of questions there, and I want to answer as many as I want as possible. But let's take a few from Facebook and YouTube as well. So I like the first question from Pedro. Hi, Pedro. And he's asking, hello from Portugal. Hello. What security they can guarantee in the conjuncture in which we live in war? This because many of the investments are close to the border, such as Estonia and Finland. So first of all, the conflict, the war, is as far away from Estonia as it is from Berlin. Estonia is part of NATO, we're part of Eurozone, we have the sort of NATO troops stationed here in Estonia, so we are part of Europe, we're part of core Europe, and we're part of NATO. Spain is quite far away, and Finland has very strong, security situation as well. Now, putting that sort of like geopolitics aside, if we look at macroeconomics, as I mentioned before, the direct sort of exports to Russia in our credit markets are actually quite small. The main impact that comes to the credit markets we operate in is the same as for people in Germany, Austria, Sweden, etc. It impacts the energy prices, it impacts the commodity prices, and that causes inflations or supply chain delays until the companies and the governments are able to adjust the supply chain. So the impact we're seeing or are expecting in the countries will be basically similar, that the energy prices will be higher and governments across Europe are dealing with this situation. Now, Bondora itself, we don't have any exposure to Belarus, Russia, or Ukraine. We don't do any business there, we don't issue loans there, and we don't accept investors also outside of the Eurozone. So I hope that answers your question, Pedro. I'll take the next question from Richard. Hello, Richard. How can we add to portfolio manager? It seems impossible anymore. The market is set up in a way that the proportion of loans allocated between the products is proportional more or less to the number of customers using those different products. And as the number of customers in one product increases or decreases, the allocations are impacted as well. I think already since 2008, something like that, the number of new people using Portfolio Pro and Portfolio Manager has been very small, and the number of people continuing to using them has decreased. So as a result, the allocation probably has diminished quite a bit. Right now, we are extensively reviewing our entire product portfolio to make sure that we have the right products in place and we're being able to address all of the investors' needs. However, that if certain products are not used anymore, we may sunset some of them to make sure that we focus on the things that have the highest usage. So I hope that answers your question, Richard. I'll take another question. It's from Monkey Z. Hi, Monkey Z. What is the profitability of the underlying Go&Grow loan portfolio? Go&Grow has been able to deliver its investors a net return of over 6.75% for now 4 years. How the Go&Grow setup is made is that all of the excess return in the underlying portfolio gets reinvested and continues to build up a risk buffer. The risk return of the Go&Grow portfolio has been stable and very solid for a number of years now, and the latest sort of crisis we're seeing in this in economy has not impacted, and we're not seeing any impacts on the portfolio performance so far. I'll take another question that's from Franz. It's a cool question. Can you send me such a cool sweater? Frankly, if anyone wants this sweater, please let us know on live chat. We'll kind of list it, and I don't know if we can kind of give it away. Maybe we can do a price draw, but like, let us know how many people want. If you know, if there's actually a lot of demand for that, we may figure out how you can get this sweater. We actually have shirts, we have polo shirts, we have a bunch of products. We have actually, you know, a number of things. So, you know, we could open an e-shop if there's a lot of these sort of demands. So far, the products we have been used only for our employees and business partners. So an alternative for France for you to get this sweater is to go to our careers page at www.bondora.careers, I think, and find a suitable job and apply there. But anyway, regardless if you want to apply for a job right now or not, then go to the chat, and everyone else, just let us know if you want your sweater. Let us know your username or some other sort of credentials as well, that we can identify you later on, and we'll figure out a way that at least some of you will get the goodies that we've been sort of, you know, building for our people for the past few years. So thanks, Franz, for the question. Francisco, I'll take your question next. Hi, Francisco. And he's asking, sorry for my delay joining this live. No worries, Francisco. You can also, later after the session is closed, you can watch the entire session from the beginning on YouTube, and you don't have to miss a beat. But anyway, you're asking, I would like to know how exposed Bondora is in this current crisis. Does Bondora has invested in cryptos? Any other risk asset? Thanks. Francisco, it's a very good question. As I mentioned, you know, earlier, since the beginning of the year, the stock markets in US and in Europe have gone down between, you know, 10 to 12%, 10 to 15%, some cases 30%. Bitcoin is down 35%, I think, and banks are offering 0% deposit rates on long-term savings, where you have to lock up your money for 5 years. You know, within this climate, we think that the Go&Grow net return of 6.75% and the 4% maximum net return of the Go&Grow Unlimited tier are highly competitive. All of the assets today are loans originated to consumers in Finland, Estonia, and Spain. As mentioned earlier, we're right now working on a number of new markets as well as new credit products. We do not have any exposure to Russia, Ukraine, or Belarus. And as mentioned a few times in the past sort of minutes, the direct economic impact that's specific to our credit markets in relation to Russia is also small. The direct impact or indirect impact that affects, you know, our borrowers as well as everyone in Europe comes through higher commodity prices and comes from higher energy prices. Let me take a question from Dave. Hi, Dave. Dave is asking, I'm confused. I invest 1,000 per month, but did not know yet about Go&Grow Unlimited. Am I now automatically in Go&Grow Unlimited? How much interest do I get? Right now, the movement of money between the tiers is not yet automatic. If you log into your Go&Grow account or in the Bondora account, you should see a banner or a message there that allows you to sign up for Go&Grow Unlimited. And you need to set it up separately, and you need to transfer money there separately. Within a few weeks, we're releasing the option to move money from the wallet to Go&Grow Unlimited tier as well and invest through there. We are also working on a number of improvements to the customer experience to make the entire experience seamless. So you would never be in a situation that some of the money is sort of sitting idle. But we're working on these developments. A few things, as I mentioned, transferring money from the wallet to the Unlimited is coming live in a few weeks. But all of those, improvements so that there's effectively, you see one Go&Grow account and you see easily how much money gets invested in one tier, how much money gets invested in the Unlimited tier will be visual. It's not there yet, but our vision is to have one click to invest, one click to withdraw, and you don't have to do anything else. So thanks, Dave, for the question. I'll take one more question and then I'm gonna hop back to Slido. So I'm gonna take a question from Jose. Hi, Jose. What is the Bondora overview for main investments to guarantee the rate taxes you offering as rate return for Go&Grow Unlimited, since the inflation rate is expected to raise 8% in EU countries this 2022? So the net return of 6.75% of Go&Grow and the 4% of the Unlimited tier, in our opinion, are highly competitive. If you look at all the other products available in the market today, then we have stock markets that are negative, crypto that's negative, bank deposits that are offering 0%. So these are the typical assets that our customers use, and that's why I mentioned them. So within that setup, we believe that our products are highly competitive. As mentioned earlier, if we see that the inflation becomes long-term, then we'll also be seeing changes in the lending rates in the different countries. Right now, we haven't yet seen that. So if you look at bank lending rates in Europe, and mostly within Eurozone, then the bank lending rates have not increased yet. So the market on the credit side has not yet factored in, or it doesn't factor in that there may be a long-term sort of inflation. And we're also in a similar sort of like viewpoint right now. If that changes, we're also able to fast adjust the interest rates of the credit portfolio to match either the inflation, like steady state inflation, or what's happening in the market. So let me hop back to Slido. Try to cover the questions there. I hope I didn't get very lost. Give me a second. So let me go from here. I'll take now one question from that's written in Estonian that I know how to translate, so hopefully Allan doesn't have difficulties with the answer. But basically, Allan is asking, how can I work in your company and what's the sort of net income potential? Allan, hello. It's a really good question. The answer is pretty simple. So if you go to www.bondora.group, you'll see a list of most of our open positions. There are sometimes positions that are 100% headhunted or not yet public. So have a look at the webpage. I think we currently have open positions in marketing, data, product management, legal, compliance, finance, operations, and engineering. So there's a big variety of different roles. If you really want to work with our team, then and you don't see a suitable sort of profile or role there, then just still reach out, let us know, because some roles are not public yet, and if we add you to the database, then we can reach out if anything suitable pops up. In terms of net income, that depends on the position. So have a look at the profiles and reach out to our HR and apply, and you'll know more. Overall, our competition package is super highly competitive, and I think it makes sense to sort of look at the opportunities. Another thing I want to stress is that I think especially for our viewers that are outside of Estonia, and most of you are, that we have since the beginning of 2020, when coronavirus crisis started, then we've hired a lot of people, 100% remote, who come to Estonia for onboarding and every now and then, but otherwise stay wherever they live. We may set up a small office in the town they live if there's multiple people, or they may continue working at home depending on the preference. So either if you're in Germany, Austria, Portugal, Italy, Spain, or anywhere else in Europe, check out the open positions and please apply. And as a bonus, if you join, you get these cool sweaters. I'll take the next question from Clemens. Hi Clemens, hi again. And he's asking, how do you see rising interest rates impact current future loans? What's the share of fixed variable today, and were you successful in rising rates year to date? Currently, we have not yet seen increases in bank lending rates, as I mentioned before. However, in case of consistent long-term inflation, of course, the interest rates of the credit agreements will be adjusted. So, in return, if it's adjusted, Go&Grow is also, as a result, able to pay out higher returns if you need to increase the return target of Go&Grow. On a micro level, we're continuously optimizing our pricing in all of the markets. So in Estonia, Finland, Spain, we constantly monitor the prices, but the monitoring on the pricing side is against the bank lending rates and the competition in the market. There's a lot of public data about this, and as I mentioned before, right now, those numbers have not shifted in Europe yet, and for those who may not sort of review the European Central Bank's deposit rates right now, then there's still negative interest rates in euro. And as a result, if you look at your savings account or your bank account, then the banks are not paying still anything, or a very sort of small return on the money if you lock it up for multiple years. I'll take the next question from Hans. Hi Hans. And Hans, I think, is asking that how can he see the Go&Grow Unlimited account, or why cannot he see the Go&Grow Unlimited account? So Hans, all our customers should be able to see the Go&Grow Unlimited account if they log in. It should be kind of one of the first things to see on the Go&Grow dashboard. You should see the unlimited tier there when you log in. So if that's not the case, please reach out to our support. Let us know what you see, and we'll be able to fix this in no time. So thanks Hans for the question. I hope my translation was okay, but please follow up if it wasn't. I'll take the next question from Rui. Hi Pärtel. Hi Rui. Will Go&Grow Unlimited affect current Go&Grow 6.75% rate, and also further affect the current limit of 400? So the unlimited tier of the Go&Grow does not impact the 6.75% tier, nor does it impact the 400 euro month limit. The Go&Grow Unlimited tier was created to be able to solve the needs that a lot of the customers were reaching out to us that they wanted to invest more. And that had been the number one feature request we've had by far over the 2 years, and I think the highest feature request we've ever had. And 6 months ago, something like that, we kind of started figuring out how do we actually solve the problem that those customers have, that they want to invest more, and also how do we make sure that we can grow sustainably at the desired base. And as mentioned before, managing the sort of risks within Go&Grow is super important for all of us. So we created a new tier within Go&Grow. The underlying portfolio is the same, but the new tier pays out the competitive rate of 4%. With no caps on how much you can invest per month or overall. And the difference between the 6.75% yield and the 4% yield is basically additional risk buffer that strengthens the overall portfolio for all of the Go&Grow investors, regardless on what tier their money gets invested. Now I'll take a question from Rudolf. I'll then also have a look at the live chats if there's anything new there, and then I'll come and sort of like take the final questions, and then we're gonna start wrapping up. So now Rudolf is basically asking similar things as before, that why do we create a new tier or product and doesn't it increase the risks and etc. So as before, it's been the number one feature request. We wanted to really be able to solve a problem that our customers had. In order to solve the problem, we created a new tier. That tier comes with a different maximum return. It's 4% instead of 6.75%. However, the money in the tier doesn't have any limits. So you can invest 4,000 euros, you can invest 5,000 euros, and you don't have to sort of plan this sort of month to month. That's why we invested. And the product itself, as a result, allows us to increase the risk buffers within Go and Grow, as well as satisfy the customers who so far wanted to invest more. Most of the customers, this 400 euro limit or 4,800 euros per annum satisfied their investment needs, because it's still quite a lot of money. However, there were a number of customers who wanted to invest more, and they saw that this our product, and with this 4% net return, is highly competitive and matches what they want in terms of simplicity, stable, and solid return. So let me now jump to back to Facebook and then the YouTube, take a few questions there, kind of clean the backlogs there, and see if there's anything else on Slido that I may have missed, and then we're going to wrap up. So I'm going to take a question from Martin. Hi, Martin. My local wife and me, a German, have been running a small micro-lending business on the Philippines for 6 years. Can you imagine a cooperation between us? Hi, Martin. I think what you're doing in Philippines is amazing. We've been following multiple micro-lending institutions across the world, and it's amazing what it does to the society. Within the next, I guess, 12, 18, 24 months, we'll probably not look outside of the European Union. Right now, we're looking at new possible countries to expand into, specifically in Eurozone or in countries that are pegged to the Euro. Next wave, we'll likely look at wider within the European Union. And only then we'll look at countries outside of Europe. Now, saying that, given that launching a country actually takes quite a bit of time, then if you want to launch anything outside of Europe, 2 or 3 years from now, then we need to start looking at stuff outside of Europe, probably next year, mid next year. So Martin, you can feel free to reach out. Send us a note on support or on live chat with some contact details. We kind of register you and send you a quick hi, and start the conversation. And eventually, when we're ready to look at outside of Europe, then we can have a chat that's a bit longer. So thanks, Martin, for that. Reach out, and we're gonna start the conversation. But it's gonna be a longer conversation. I'll take the next question from Pedro. Hi, Pedro. Do you consider accepting loans in Portugal? You said a little while ago that we're going to go to new countries. Can you say which ones? Hi, Pedro. It's a good question. Yes, we have considered Portugal, and honest answer is that the countries we're right now working on, Portugal is not one of them. Which are the countries? You'll find out when they get released, but Portugal is not one of them. As a sneak peek, you can kind of, start doing guesswork and then maybe, make some bets. Is that the countries we're looking at are within the Eurozone, or they're pegged with Euro. And right now we're not targeting, massive the biggest countries. We're targeting countries where we think that we can be highly competitive from day one, nationally, entire the country. So we're looking at countries that are mid-sized countries that we can sort of go in and build a brand presence from the very first day. So I'll take another question. I think it's probably the last one here, maybe a few more. I'll take one from Dave. Hi, Dave. Thanks for the answer. Can I stay in Go&Grow with 675% interest and continue to invest 1,000 euros per month? I did not know the limit dropped to 400 euros a month. Thank you that you liked my answer. I'm really, really sorry, Dave, that you didn't know that the limit dropped, I think, a month or two ago to 400 euros a month. If you have any money sitting in the wallet, that's basically the reason. Please let us know on support or in the live chat somehow how we can kind of like pick up your details and see why you didn't receive the notification. It was sent out to everyone. I'm not sure if it was on the blog, but it was sent out to everyone by email at least. So please reach out and we'll figure out if there's anything wrong with the contact details on you in our system. You can continue to invest 400 euros per month with Go&Grow 6.75%. You don't have to do anything else. If you want to invest more than 400 euros per month, then right now you need to separately click and to access the Go&Grow Unlimited tier that gives you access to 4% net return with no monthly limits. But if you prefer to stay at and invest only up to 400 or stay within the 400 euros limit per month, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to open make those clicks and open the access to another tier. So no changes are needed from you, Dave. But as I said before, please let us know, kind of somehow that we can contact you, figure out what's wrong with the contact details and make sure that why the emails didn't come through. So really, really sorry for that, Dave. Now, let me take one more here. It's from Ariana. And Ariana is asking, how do we sign up for a portfolio manager or pro account? I have Go&Grow, but I would like to open a manager pro account. Thanks. Hi, Ariana. Thanks for that. As I said before, a lot of customers have actually opened portfolio manager pro accounts in the last 4 years. It's possible in the user interface. You should reach out to support. There's probably articles in our help site support site as well about this. If you can't find anything, our support is super happy to help. So reach out and we'll be able to show you around. As mentioned earlier, we're right now conducting a further review of the usage of the different products and to figure out what products make sense for our strategy long term. What are the trends between the customers, what types of products they want, and how do we sort of build the future. So after we conduct the review, we'll also sort of reach out to everyone that may be impacted if we decide that within some time we're going to sunset the product in one way or another. Cool. Let me jump to now Slido, see if I can find any new questions there that have come in, and then we'll wrap up and we can get back to our business. So let me see if there's anything there. Let me see. Takes a bit of time. Oh, there's a few questions I kind of missed before. Sorry. Rethink B2B is asking, will there be performance-based reports of the Go&Grow loan portfolio in the future? Hi, Rethink B2B. We have actually had not a lot of demand for complex analytics among the Go&Grow users. Given the entire data of our entire loan book since 2009 is public, then we have not so far prioritized adding any such complexity or these types of analytical features to Go&Grow. This may of course change if there's a big shift in customer demand. So if there's something that you're missing in Go&Grow right now, a feature, a report, whatever it is, then please comment in the chat, let us know, and our product team will pick up this input and process it and If there's a lot of demand for that and it makes sense for a number of customers, then we'll add it to the backlogs. So please do that. There's another product here, question here that I somehow missed. Sorry. The question is from Ivailo. The question is, why not create a better Go&Grow plan, better return on investment and no limit, instead of having another product, the Go&Grow Unlimited? Hi Ivailo, thanks for the question. Unlimited is not a new product, but it's a new tier as part of Go&Grow. There's no monthly investment limit, and you can invest your money with a competitive rate of up to 4%. The different yield between 6.75% and 4% between the different tiers is used to increase the risk buffer within the Go&Grow and increase the portfolio strength for all of the customers. And we've created this product because of super high demand for customers to be able to invest more money. It was for our utmost importance that we find a way to satisfy that need without increasing the risks within Go&Grow. I've mentioned this a couple of times, and our solution for that is basically creating this tiered approach within Go&Grow. So anyone who wants to invest more than 400 euros a month, which is already quite a lot of money, can do so through the unlimited tier. But at the same time, that money gets invested with a higher risk buffer being generated from every euro that goes in. We're still continuing to streamline the user experience, so everything with Go&Grow works seamlessly, and there's no confusion. So I said before, I want to have it so that it's one click to invest, one click to withdraw. You don't have to do anything else, and everyone in the team is trying to do their best to make this make this amazing user experience come through, and your feedback is super helpful there. So sorry if you kind of created this confusion, Ivailo, but we're looking to really streamline this experience into a seamless one click experience. Let me see if there was anything else. I think I missed a couple more from Anonymous. Hi Anonymous. The first question from Anonymous is about why are my returns so low now? My portfolio has reduced in value over the last 3 years. Everyone using Go&Grow has generated a net return of 6.75% for over 4 years now. I think we launched Go&Grow 2018 April, something like that, April or May, so it's 4 years birthday already. People using our other products or older products have different returns, which may be really different depending on the types of loans that were picked into those portfolios, depending on the sort of strategies. Without knowing any specifics of the portfolio, it's really hard to comment more. So, in order to provide a bit more insight and help, please reach out to our support, and they'll be super helpful to sort of like look what's going on, give you feedback, and allow us to sort of be more specific than we can be in this live chat. There's another question from Anonymous that's a bit similar, which is why is my net return only 1.5% and should be getting 9.49 to 17.49? Similar as before, Go&Grow investors have made 6.75% for now 4 years. People using different products, the net returns vary depending on the strategies used. But in order for us to be more specific and more helpful, please reach out to our support, and we'll be super happy to help out and provide more insight. Let me do another scan. I really want to capture every single kind of unique question you get on anywhere. So if there's still anything, just feel free to throw it on Facebook and YouTube as well as a final ditch. I'm going to go quick through on Slido. I'm going to quickly look at Facebook and YouTube as well, and then we're going to wrap this up. So now. There's a question from Anonymous in Slido, which is there any financial exposure risk with Russia? And if so, how does it impact the company? As mentioned, we do not do any business in Russia. We don't do any business in UK. We don't do any business in Belarus. We don't accept investors outside of Europe. And the credit markets through exports into the territory are not impacted. The only impact to the credit markets directly comes the same way as for the rest of Europe. Comes from higher energy prices, it comes from higher commodity prices, until the companies are able to change the supply chains to get these sort of like commodities from elsewhere. And I think that's sort of in news. So far we haven't seen this impact the business directly. But we're ready to react, and we're constantly having a very close eye on our credit criteria and our affordability loans to make sure that our customers have the sort of like risk buffers in place that they can adjust if the energy prices peak next winter as well. I'll take another question from Anonymous. It's about why is it not possible to deposit money with a debit card? Why? It's not possible to deposit money with a debit card because the fees that we are charged to process the payments, either debit cards or credit cards, are actually quite high. We haven't historically thought of passing them to the investors because SEPA instant payments, which is available to basically every European, allows you to send money to us for free. It arrives to the account within minutes. Almost 85–90% of the European banks are covered. So with that in mind, we have not seen that there's any point to sort of give money away to other financial institutions, and rather streamline the user experience of the existing products and put a heavy focus on SEPA instant payments. Given with Payment Service Directive 2, there's a lot of new open banking payment solutions coming to the market, which are quite affordable as well. So we'll be looking at adding this sort of like one-click online bank payments in different countries as well to test out if this helps the user experience, especially in the app. So if you find anything new, happy to sort of cover that. Let me see. There's, I think, if I scan through, all of the questions on Slido, I've tried to cover them. If you missed out on anything, reach out to our support. Happy to help. I think, I think we can wrap it up here. I hope that, it took a bit of time. I'm really grateful for everyone who watched from the start to the finish. I hope, I was able to answer most of your questions, and if there was really anything kind of unique that was there that I wasn't able to cover, let me know. We are 1 minute away from sort of reaching our sort of like planned time. So it was a pleasure. It was it was a pleasure to get all of those questions, and as some people said last time, people want us to do it a bit more often. We try to do it now more often. It was 2 months ago when we did the last time. Probably we're going to do one again in August, unless we release anything in between to introduce. So there was a lot of amazing questions. Thank you for all the continued support and trust towards Bondora. And if you have any questions, any feedback about features that you want, or the jumpers, or our hoodies that you want, and let us know either through support or the live chats. Our team will pick it up. And until next time, thank you so much. Have a great day.